Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today in Processing Games, we are looking at TrackMania. Now, if you don't know what TrackMania is, basically it's one of the premium, premium kind of trials game out there when it comes to cars. It's been around since 2003, and TrackMania Forever is a title which I'm playing right now. TrackMania Forever came out in 2008. The version I'm playing right now is TrackMania Nations Forever, and basically this is the free version of the game. What you can also do is get the Track Nation United game, which came out at the same time. It's called TrackMania United Forever, I suppose, if you're looking from just the nation's point of view. And what it does is it gives you more levels, it gives you basically everything unlocked, where the free version there are a few things which are behind barriers. Now, I don't think I need to talk a lot about the pedigree of this series. You have TrackMania, TrackMania Power Up, TrackMania Sunrise, all made by the same developer. TrackMania 2, TrackMania Turbo, which is the new one which came out this year. They are legendary when it comes to the time attack racing games. And also they throw in different types of events. You have races, you have obstacles, you have speed and endurance and circuits and everything like that. And you have different terrains when you look at dirt, grass, track, everything. There's just different things that you have to react to. One of the nice features I like is the fact that when you're going along in TrackMania, if you've done the track before, then you have the ghost, which is your lap time from before. You'll probably see it in the video. You also have another ghost, and this ghost is actually a full car. Now what you can do is, as I said, it's a time attack game. It's a really wonderful little racing time attack game. You can set it so the person you are racing against either has the bronze medal standard, the silver medal standard, or the gold medal standard. So what I like to do is set it at gold medal standard and try and follow it and try and get that gold medal standard and try and get the gold medal, because if you get more medals, you basically, the way it works, you like any free-to-play game, I suppose you would call it, if you're looking on mobile or stuff like that, the more medals you get, the more levels you unlock. Like, I think one of, to get the second row of levels on each of the stages, you have to have silver in all of the races before it. To get the third level, same thing. And then to get certain ones, it's kind of interesting because it tries to push you towards areas of the game which you might not think of. So to get some of the early levels, to unlock them, it basically says go create a level. Go into the editor and go and make something. And I find that really cool, because it's basically pushing you to a part of the game so you can unlock some free content so you can play it. There's another one which is like invite a friend. And obviously this game has multiplayer, it has level building, it has racing, it has the endurance races, which are basically circuit races, it has the stunt races, which as you can see here are basically what's on the screen right now. So you have multiplayer, which is the main focus. I generally play it solo though. You have level building, you have time trials, you have all of these wonderful things that you would want from a game like this. And to top it all off, it's a free game. Now the thing is, right now I'm recording at 30, so you might not be able to see the puckerness of this game, I'd like to put it. Runs easily steadily at 60. Most of the time for me it runs at 120. If I'm actually processing games, then it's running at a solid 60. But unfortunately, recording wise it's 30 for YouTube, so you probably won't see the smoothness of the game. And just remember, this game came out 8 years ago now. There's not many games out there which actually stand the test of time, and I believe this game does. A lot of racing games do. If you look at some of the old GTRs, or the Project Gotham Racers or something like that, if you look at them, they do kind of stand up. Even the Burnout games, Burnout Paradise, still looks wonderful to this day, and that came out ages ago, it seems like. At least 5 years ago now. So basically, for free, you can get this on Steam as well, but I like doing it through the website. There's a very active community still on. In my area right now, in one of the provinces that I'm in, there's 15,000 players on it. Which is kind of crazy, because that's more than basically, when I go on War Thunder, that's more people on the whole game. And it's, you know, it's TrackMania. It's the premium time trial racing game out there. It has been for years, and every iteration it gets better. But the thing is, the best thing about this TrackMania is that it's free. Free to try. You can see how many levels I get. As you can see, every stage you get, looks like 15 levels, and 2 of those levels you have to unlock. As I said, one of them is to create a level by yourself and make sure it functions. The other is to invite somebody, but this is a new account that I basically use just for recording, so I didn't do that. Something that's also nice is that it tracks all of your stats. It tracks how long you've been in the game, it tracks all of your best lap times, it tracks which medals you have. There's even certain races on, I believe it's the black stage thing, where basically you need a certain amount of levels and medals before you are allowed to unlock the levels. Look at this, how beautiful is this? Just going around a loop-de-loop. Some of the interesting things as well. Obviously gravity is a massive thing in this game, something that should never ever be frowned upon. The gravity and the way it works in this game is absolutely wonderful, and sometimes it does screw you over and you do have to get used to it. But that's just kind of how it is, especially with most racing games. It does really well when it comes to momentum, which to me is a sign of a good game. I talked, when we were looking at Nitronic Rush, I kind of talked about the same thing, where as long as the momentum is there, even if the gravity can be a bit skew-whiff sometimes, the momentum has to be there for it to be interesting. Which I think holds true to a lot of games. When you look at like the Spider-Man games, it's all about the momentum. If the momentum doesn't feel right, the whole game falls apart. When it comes to web swinging, well, it's the same with racing games. If you can't get the momentum right, you can't really get anything right. Something else as well is the fact that this game, you can use the keyboard if you want to, just like, you know, most PC games, but I would recommend controller, and that's just because of the fact it's a lot easier to be much more precise with a controller. It's very hard saying that, especially if you look at like FPSs and things like that, because obviously with a mouse and keyboard FPSs you're much more precise with a keyboard and mouse, but with racing games it is much more precise with the controller, because with the controller you can at least try and control how much you want to move left, how much you want to move right, and yes, it will take you time to get used to it, just like it does any game. Simple controls: A to accelerate, left trigger to kind of do, well, at least try and drift. I don't really do it too well. You won't really need to use brake that much, which I suppose is also LB, left button, sorry. RB to restart, just to make it easy for you. B to go to the last checkpoint you were at, but you probably won't use that if you're trying to do time attacks. And obviously the left stick to move about. There's no real control in the air, which is kind of nice. It try and keep some of that realism that you would feel in something like this. Stuff that I really like out of games is taking a realistic scenario and keeping it in the realms of reality. So in this example, it would be taking the car and its physics and putting it into a game, but making it feel like reality, but putting it into situations you would never be able to play in said reality. Like, you can feel how this car would actually drive in real life, and it would drive how it does in the game, or at least it should do. But the tracks themselves you would never have in real life, because it would be way too dangerous. It would be way too crazy for any driver to even think of. So basically, overall, the fact that you're putting a realistic object in a surreal setting, it's really interesting to me. I really like that idea. It's the reason why I kind of like Nitronic Rush as well. Something that is kind of annoying, but this is a very subjective thing, is the music. One of the big reasons why I really enjoyed Nitronic Rush is that it felt like, because of the fast beat, because of how it changed when I started moving very fast, or it changed per level, every song seemed to fit the level. Whereas with TrackMania, the music just doesn't sit well with me. And as I said, that's a very subjective thing. It's definitely not something that everyone will agree with. Some people will prefer this music, but then again, obviously the controls are very easy, just so you can put on your own music if you feel like it. I just really like the ghost system as well, as I said before. Something else is the fact that it will change your view sometimes. So if you may have seen before, there are no view controls that I use. There may be view controls in the game, I just see them as kind of pointless. But if you're going around a loop-de-loop, or if you're going around the side of something where gravity is dragging you down, most of the time what they'll do is they'll put you in first-person mode, and they'll put you sat on the front of the car. So by doing that, it's kind of interesting, because you can't control, changing view or whatever. Or at least I haven't found it. So it just thrusts you into the situation where you kind of have to readjust, and you're like, where the hell am I? And it definitely, you definitely have to get used to it. But something that a lot of people may not like, which I personally enjoy, is the fact of taking the same track and doing it over and over again. You may do it first time, you may get a bronze, and then because you got that bronze, you can set the ghost to a silver medal, then you can try and beat the silver medal. And then from there, you can try and beat the gold medal, and then just do it like that. I understand a lot of people wouldn't really like that, but for me personally, I really, really enjoy it. That's why I really, really enjoyed Nitronic Rush. Nitronic Rush was less about the time trial element, but much more about the challenge element. TrackMania is much more of a mix. It's much more of an in-between, where there is definitely an element of challenge here, but the challenge has been slightly tampered, so you can you can much more hit those easy racing lines, so you don't have to manipulate where you're looking. You don't have a hop button basically, so you can't go around the place. You don't have a boost button. It's much more realistic in that sense. So what I wanted to do with these two games is basically show you two really awesome free racing games, which are also both updated, which are also both moddable, which are also both have multiplayer, and the fact is they've been around for so long, they still are supported. It gives me great hope in the future that they will keep being supported. And even if they're not, you can still play the solo if you felt like it. There are leaderboards, there are everything on both of these games, Nitronic Rush and TrackMania Forever. And if you want to upgrade, you can buy the full game. For me personally, it would be nice to get those extra levels and stuff, but it's not a necessity. I still haven't completed the free game after 4 hours of play, and I have actually played it before many years ago, so, it's just kind of nice to have. And it's just lovely to see another game in this wonderful franchise, which really stands out as one of those wonderful time attack games. Because there are quite a few of them out there, of these time attack games, but not many of them stand up to the standard which are put forward to TrackMania. Nitronic Rush takes that standard, changes it a bit, and makes its own standard, which makes it a completely different game, but it's still interesting, it's still enjoyable, it's still fun. Just as a last note also, you can set your own colour scheme on your car if you want to, on your little Formula 1 car, or you can just stick to a nation. So I thought I would put a Canadian paint job on, because why not, it looks nice. And anyway, go check out this game. If you like it, you don't have to buy the full version, because there's a hell of a lot of stuff when it comes to the free version, but obviously more stuff for the upgraded full version. And also check out the new game that TrackMania has, which is TrackMania Turbo. They're all wonderful games. If you can even pick up TrackMania, which was made in 2003, it's still a wonderful game. This company and developers have been around for so long, and they get it right every time. It's always wonderful to see. I'll catch you next time.